study synergy trial where symbiotic treatment in 37 stage 4-5 CKD patients was associated with enrichment of this good bacteria and decreased uremic toxin. In another trial, symbiotic treatment with Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium and Iguanodin in hemodialysis patient was associated with a reduction in gastrointestinal symptom, C-reactive protein TNF-alpha, compared with the control group. Chinese trials are presently investigating changes of the composition of gut microbiota after the use of acarbose. You remember acarbose, which we used for treating diabetes, and to somewhat have been withdrawn due to its side effect on the gut. They are studying its effect as an anti-diabetic drug and its effect on gut microbiota. Now we come to fecal transplantation. Fecal transplantation and fecal microbiota transplant. The fecal matter that is taken from a donor, of course, donor with good gut, is administered to a recipient. Of course, a recipient with bad gut microbiota, with hypertension, these things, via endoscopy or enema. This fecal matter transplantation of fecal microbiota is becoming a widespread in treatment of, for example, Clostridium difficile infection, which is not responsive to medical treatment. Dorgan and colleague has shown that transplantation of fecal microbial content from hypertensive animal may reduce hypertension in previously normotensive recipient animal. If this can be reproduced in human, and if fecal microbiota transplantation from normotensive to hypertensive patient will have a reduction in blood pressure in hypertensive subject, remain to be tested. A trial to establish effect and mechanism of fecal microbiota transplantation on metabolic syndrome is ongoing. This is very interesting. Incretin, which we use in treatment of diabetes, play very well with our gut microbiota. Studies found that DDP4 inhibitor can reduce intestinal inflammation by inhibiting the protease activated receptor 2 linked to proliferation and inflammation in the smooth muscle cell. Emerging data suggests a possible antifibrotic, anti-inflammatory, immunomodulatory role of incretin in CKD patients. Their use could improve clinical outcome in patients with type 2 diabetes. Recently, Ushida evaluated the pleiotropic effect of DDP4 inhibitor in non-diabetic CKD mice. Treatment with DDP4 was associated with lower renal total collagen content, lower expression of TGF-beta messenger RNA, a number of SMAD positive cells, lower expression of CD68 messenger and BRI1. Two trials to investigate changes of the composition of gut microbiota before and after use of DDP4 inhibitor are ongoing. Now we come to another new recent hypoglycemic drug, the SGLT2 inhibitor. Sodium glucose cotransport type 2 inhibitors are glucose lowering agents used to treat type 2 diabetes. These agents target the kidney to promote urinary glucose excretion, resulting in improved glycemic control. Experimental data on mice showed an anti-inflammatory effect and a protective effect on diabetic nephropathy. Treatment with this selective SGLT2 inhibitor decreased urinary albumin, inhibited renal accumulation of CD68 macrophage, and expression of toll-like receptor 4, NK-kappa P factor, macrophage CP1, and osteocontin. Good immunological results. Another new study found a reduction of bicresyl sulfate plasma level and increased short-chain fatty acid in CKD mice after 2 weeks of treatment with SG and T2 inhibitor canakinumab. So, good effect. Now we come to Sevelamer, the renal gel, which we use as phosphate-binder. Another potential treatment could be Sevelamer, a polymer phosphate-binder that is effective in management of hyperphosphatemia in CKD patients. In addition to lowering serum phosphate, Sevelamer exerts several pleiotropic effect, reducing cardiovascular risk. In hemodialysis patients, Sevelamer is also capable of binding endotoxin and reducing inflammatory parameters, C-reactive protein, interleukin 6, and soluble CD14 level. The result of a recent phase 3 randomized controlled trial confirms that Sevelamer is effective to reduce plasma bicresyl sulfate concentration after 1 and 3 months of treatment. Very good. Several studies that observe the pleiotropic effect of Sevelamer are ongoing. So this is another good drug. Lopepristol as probiotic. This lopepristol is a drug used for treatment of constipation, idiopathic constipation. In mice with CKD, lopepristol attenuated inflammation, renal fibrosis, kidney interstitial damage. In addition, it restored eubiosis through proliferation of lactobacillus group and reduction of toxin-producing bacteria. A randomized controlled trial to examine the effectiveness and safety of lopepristol administration for CKD patients is ongoing. And this very interesting slide which talk about Oxalobacter formigenes. This is a type of bacteria which inhabit our gut. It gets energy through destruction of oxalate molecule. So it is good consumer of oxalate. It was observed that in patients with stone former or oxalosis, they have little concentration of this bacteria in their gut. So it will be good if we give this patient this bacteria. It can consume their oxalate. It can decrease their stone formation. A good point for clinical research. Again, gut microbiota can affect stone formation. Now, I'm going to my conclusion. Our microbiota are comprised of trillions of bacteria and other microorganisms that inhabit all our surfaces, skin, mouth, sexual organ, and of course, special intestine. It plays a critical role in our health and defense against disease. A strong relation with hypertension and kidney disease has been established. Manipulation of gut microbiota is gaining a great interest among researchers, while fecal microbiota transplantation may allow restoration of a normal constituent of the microbiome and offer potential for therapy of inflammatory bowel disease. It may be important to identify a particular group of microorganisms for a specific disease indications and to develop simple mode of administration for the ideal microbe transplantation, not over or whole stool or fecal matter transplantation. The use of prebiotic, probiotic, symbiotic, among other approaches, could improve the dysbiosis and or the increasing permeability of intestinal barrier in CKD. The risk associated with fecal, probiotic, and dietary manipulation merits careful consideration. We anticipate that within the next decade, the study of the human microbiome will become increasingly elegant, efficient, and cost-effective. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Sobh, for this very excellent talk. We got a lot of information. Before going into discussion, do you believe that vitamin D, with the extended indication now for vitamin D, could be related in its use by microbiota?
A relationship between microbiota and
The vitamin D and the Arabic gum. Is there any relation between both?
vitamin D and the microbiota?
Yeah.
As far as I know, I don't know vitamin D and microbiota, but it could be direct relation or indirect. We know that vitamin D have a relation with the immune system, and immune system can affect our microbiota. It could be through this, but I don't have a good answer.
Regarding the Arabic gum,
Arabic gum, yeah.
so its effect on the microbiota could be also related to this issue.
There's a big crowd regarding this Arabic gum. There is big brainwash to our patients. This brainwash could be serious, actually, it can affect our patients. Many patients, even up to some some doctors or some para-doctors can convince patients, for example, to stop dialysis and take Arabic gum. Can stop steroid and take Arabic gum. This is big crowd. This is very bad. But I will say to you, facing this big dilemma and to protect our patient, I think our colleague in Cairo University did a prospective randomized controlled trial in which they took patients, pre-dialysis patients, and I think also some dialysis patients, and they divided them into two groups. Group were given Arabic gum, and group were given, let us say, glycemic. So, and they followed these patients regarding all parameters which we examined in our CKD patient, blood pressure, urea, everything, phosphate, parathormone, calcium, acid base. They found no difference between the two groups, except little decrease in phosphate concentration. This is what I had been told by Professor Rashad Barsoum. So we can say it is of no value in clinical development.
Thank you so much for your excellent presentation. Thank you so much, dear Professor Sobh, for excellent presentation and very innovative knowledge that you've got today, actually. Regarding the Arabic gum and the other, this era of non-traditional or traditional alternative medicine for nephrologists, the Arabic gum, my experience with it was very bad, actually. I just received the same scenario that Professor Sobh just said. The patient is being is informed that this medicine is going to be like a magic. Patient on dialysis, patient on pre-dialysis, approaching dialysis, and they came in a very bad shape, severe hypercalcemia exactly. Okay, yeah, maybe because of the effect, maybe have a lot of vitamin D or something inside the Arabic gum. It potentiated some absorption of calcium or something. You mentioned the vitamin D and the gut. Sorry. I'm going just to highlight the pleiotropic effect on different parts of the body in terms of intestine and so forth in my lecture. But the main issue for the vitamin D in the gut is to potentiate the absorption of calcium and phosphorus from the gut. May have anti-proliferative effect in the gut and protect against colorectal cancers. That's it.
In other question, please? Yes.
Thank you very much. You have shown us a very different world. And my question is, when we are talking about prebiotics and probiotics, excuse my ignorance, but are these prepared supplements, or they can be found in food that we can recommend our patients to eat?
Prebiotic, for example, as I said, if you take starch, resistant starch, oat, undigested diet, and there are other synthetic prebiotics, something synthetic or other than the nature. This is a probiotic, for example, yogurt, for example, this is a probiotic. But probiotic with yogurt, you are a lot of bacteria. But as I said, there are other probiotics which a certain group of bacteria, one to 2 or 3 types of bacteria, good bacteria. This could be what available actually. We have this yogurt and yogurt-like. So as probiotic, we have this yogurt, but of course scientists and the clinical trials, they can isolate certain type of bacteria and give it as probiotic. But this, other than yogurt, the other group of bacteria, either single or combination of bacteria, good bacteria, I think still experimental. So as I said in my last slide, this area needs a lot of research. And many people think, and I think, playing with our gut microbiota will change medicine. Besides, for example, stem cell and nanotechnology, playing with gut microbiota will change medicine.
Any other question?
Yes. It's about yogurt.
Oh, yeah.
So where I come from, you can have 2 types of yogurt. You can make it at home, or you can have a pasteurized. When is this pasteurized? Does it have probiotics?
Well, I think yogurt, any milk, it should be pasteurized, then you add this bacteria. Yeah. It is not advised, of course, to consume milk without being pasteurized. Otherwise, we will go into another problem.
I think she asked Professor Sobh, is yogurt, any yogurt, include probiotic?
Yeah.
Or it should be fortified? Because there are some
Usually, with yogurt, as far as I know, yogurt, you add something. You disinfect the milk by pasteurization. If you leave it without, it will not give you yogurt. To give yogurt, you add something to be yogurt. This something added have bacteria.
I just want to explain why we put this important topic within the course of dialysis. Because, as Professor Sobh mentioned, that there are a lot of expansions in the field of gut microbiome in all medical specialties. In diabetes, it is now considered one of 12 pathways of type 2 diabetes. And in the future, we are waiting if prebiotic and probiotic will be among the anti-diabetic drugs. And one of the interesting points, just to take a home message, is for ladies, it is advisable to give kids full time of lactation, at least 1 year. Because short lactation and the use of antibiotic in early life, these are important 2 factors that disturb gut microbiome. Disturbance of gut microbiome, this is a normal population, in early life is associated with development of obesity and diabetes and metabolic syndrome that Professor Sobh mentioned within his presentation.
And actually, there was an interesting study in which they compared the children living in Africa with natural way of eating. And when they compared them with children in Europe with westernized way of eating, they found gut microbiota is different totally. And disease susceptibility was different in children here and there. For example, in children in Africa, they develop, for example, more allergy, asthma. In Europe, children develop more diabetes, more atherosclerosis when they grow. So, diet can affect microbiota and can affect our disease susceptibility in the future. When they examine the children, for example, at delivery, those delivered vaginally, when compared with those delivered by cesarean section, the disease susceptibility in these children differ from those. And through vaginal delivery, the first exposure of a child related to bacteria, microbiota in the vagina of their mother. So they develop these bacteria in their early life. Other with cesarean section, they are exposed to skin microbiota more. So asthma is more here than there and so on. Okay. So the field is very wide and open a lot of surprises.
Yes, thank you, Prof, because I'm sure this field was opening a lot of surprises. When I was a medical student, even in my undergraduate, I was told